it just got very real for the Dodgers. We get into exactly how their outlook for the rest of this season looks like in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Myself and Brad J. will bring you everyday Dodger content, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. So, as we know, the Dodgers just dropped, another game. They just got swept by the Angels in an absolutely just shocking way to lose tonight's game. 6-5, blew the game in the 8th inning. But at the same time, I mean, this loss, I don't know, for some reason it doesn't come as a shock to me, right? I mean, you cannot be shocked by the Dodgers, losing this game, right? Personally as a fan, you want to see the Dodgers win these games, but at the same time, it seemed like the writing was on the wall when the Dodgers went completely cold offensively and didn't get a base hit after the 4th inning. I mean, they just went completely cold offensively, right? Basically nothing to show for the Dodgers. And it's really hard for this Dodger team to really win games in that way because their pitching just isn't very good, right? Their bullpen pitching, once again, Enriquez just doesn't get the job done and, blows the game, basically, right? Dodgers could have got out of that 8th inning with a double play, but, Enriquez tried to, field the ball, and it was a mistake, and, it ended up really costing the Dodgers. Pitch left right down the middle. Sure, it was over 100 miles an hour, but like Eric Karros was saying on the broadcast, I mean, you cannot leave pitches like that right down the middle and expect to get major league hitters out. It's just a bad pitch, a really bad pitch, the winning hit there that the Angels got. And the Angels played their best. Kenley Jansen was super big for the Angels in this series, and they made franchise history, going undefeated against the Dodgers in a baseball season for the first time ever in their franchise history, which is kind of crazy. But, I mean, the Dodgers really just collapsed again, right? And, today's game was, a bit of a highlight because, as we know, everybody was really talking about the idea of Shohei Ohtani, pitching at Angel Stadium for the first time, not being an Angel, right? That was the big story. And Ohtani looked pretty good for the most part. But, I mean, in my opinion, I don't know what everybody thinks out there, but why was Shohei Ohtani brought out for the 5th inning? Why was he brought out for the 5th inning? It really, in the end, ended up costing the Dodgers, 2 extra runs, right? Because at the time, he'd only given up 2 runs, right? The Dodgers were up 5-2 when they started that inning, the 5th inning. And the Angels tacked on 2 more runs. Those 2 runs charged to Ohtani. But why was Ohtani brought out for the 5th inning? I mean, basically, Ohtani had nothing left in the 5th inning. Nothing left, right? Pitch count was already kind of high, right? Ended up eclipsing 80, right? At 82, around there. A lot of pitches tonight for Ohtani. In a game where he's also playing DH. By the way, he only got 1 hit, got that triple in the 1st inning, and that was it, really, for Ohtani. So, offensively, kind of struggled in a night where he was also pitching. So, that's something to keep an eye on. But why was Ohtani brought out for the 5th inning? That is a mistake by Dave Roberts in the front office. Whoever makes the decision, it's hard to know with the Dodgers who makes these decisions. There's no accountability, really. Really, that's really what it comes down to. I think the Dodgers have no accountability when it comes to their manager and front office when things go wrong, because we've seen this before. The Dodgers have had a lot of rough patches during the Dave Roberts era, and really there's no accountability on who's making these decisions and why things are decided the way they are. And then we end up with these results, right? The Dodgers are basically now, in panic mode. You have to be in panic mode if you're a Dodger fan or if you're part of the Dodgers franchise, because they are in trouble, right? I mean, basically now have lost that first place lead, right? Padres sweeping the Giants, winning 11-1 today, crushing the Giants out in San Francisco, 3 games. And, they're in first place. First time the Dodgers surrender first place since April 28th. It's August 13th. Dodgers held on to first place for months, and now it's gone. Dodgers, of course, have the opportunity to get their redemption because they're going to be facing San Diego this weekend in LA at Dodger Stadium. 3 games starting Friday night. But at the same time, the Dodgers are really not playing their best right now. I mean, they've just lost 4 games in a row. They just lost 4 in a row, the Dodgers. They lost Sunday. We talked about this already many times. One of the worst losses ever in franchise history when it comes to, getting hits and walks and all that. And then the next 3 days have been, really tough to watch, right? I mean, today is a game the Dodgers should have had, 6 outs away, and they don't get the job done, right? Blew the game in the 8th inning. It's frustrating, I think, because the Dodgers, have had a lot of leads, in this stretch, right? They were saying on the broadcast, right? 4 blown saves in the last week. It's like, it just does not. You cannot win championships, with the way the Dodgers are playing. And right now, I think it would be a bit, I don't know, naive, or I think we kind of have to, pump the brakes here when it comes to the Dodgers, being a World Series lock, right? Because the Dodgers now have a kind of a tough road now, right? Because the Dodgers are going to have to now fight it out for the division. And, sure, the Dodgers could sweep the Padres this weekend and have a 2-game lead Sunday afternoon, right? Think about it. They could win Friday, tie the division, and then win the next 2 and have a 2-game lead. So, that is a possibility. But still just a 2-game lead. And then they got to go to San Diego next weekend. And, I don't know. Do you think the Dodgers can win like 6 games against San Diego? That's something I think everybody has to be kind of honestly ask themselves that. I mean, let's be realistic. Do you see the Dodgers, the way they are currently playing, and the way the pitching is going, can they actually win, 4 to 6 games, right? Can they do that against San Diego, right? Because that's kind of what it's going to take for the Dodgers to have the first place lead again. They're going to need to win these games, because if they don't win, think of the Dodgers don't win this weekend. I mean, they could be out by 3 or 4 games, right, by Sunday afternoon. So it's a very important series, to say the least. It's going to be it's the biggest series so far in the 2025 year for both teams. Can't wait to watch Friday's game. It's going to be a super crazy environment at Dodger Stadium. And it's kind of crazy. It's only August, right? You don't usually get these kind of games now. But, yeah, it's going to be crazy. And the Dodgers probably, have to, they have to get out of this rut they're in, right? They're right now, like, they're just not. Everything is going wrong for the Dodgers. Everything is going wrong, right? And somehow the Dodgers are going to have to get out of this soon, because they have to play these, this weekend they got to play. Tomorrow's an off day, and then Friday they got to get into this mode and win these games, because it's like now or never. It's do or die for the Dodgers. This is it. Kind of like for San Diego too, right? I mean, I think for San Diego, this is their moment too. They have to see it like that, right? I think they have to see it like this is their moment, because they have the Dodgers where they want them now. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of Dodger team we see on Friday, because we haven't seen the real Dodger team the last few days. We're seeing like another team here. Like, it's not the same team that won the World Series. They don't look confident. They look like there's a lot of pressure right now. Ohtani, pitching, hitting takes a lot out of him. And, it's concerning. So I don't know what everybody thinks out there. How confident do you feel about the Dodgers this weekend? Do you think the Dodgers take care of business? Or do you think this is it? The Dodgers are done, right? So comment below. As always, we appreciate everybody's support here on the channel. Make sure to like the video as well. And as always, make sure to subscribe. And let's go Dodgers.